Well, this is the last full day of campaigning before Chicago counts the votes for mayor and city council tomorrow night. All 9 mayoral candidates are busy delivering their final pitch, and Fox 32 political editor Mike Flannery joins me now with the last dash to Election Day.
Well, Dane, they say that if you want to know where the politicians think the decisive votes are, watch where they are campaigning in these final hours. Congressman Chuy Garcia was once again on the North Lakefront this morning. He greeted commuters at the Belmont station on the CTA's Red Line. Garcia was also on the North Side over the weekend, promising to do a better job against violent crime than Mayor Lightfoot has. The mayor, for her part, continues to focus on black women. They comprise a significant majority of African-American voters who cast ballots. Lightfoot over the weekend continued to use thinly veiled language, attacking her 6 black challengers as, quote, false prophets. She says they risk letting political power go to, quote, another part of town. Lightfoot also targeted Paul Vallas, the consensus front runner. The former Chicago Schools CEO stopped at a Greek-themed restaurant on Lincoln Avenue yesterday, glossing over questions about past posts on social media. He's focusing to reduce crime and to improve the public schools. Cook County Commissioner Brandon Johnson, a longtime staffer at the Chicago Teachers Union, spoke at a church in his West Side Austin neighborhood. Johnson promises that if he becomes mayor, he will, quote, take a lot of West Siders with me to the 5th floor at City Hall. Johnson's proposing huge tax and fee increases to fund a big expansion of spending on social programs, including on mental health and the public schools. A voter opinion survey by 1983 Labs done last Wednesday through Saturday found Vallas at 24%, Lightfoot 18%, Garcia 16%, Johnson 14.49%. The poll by Mayoral Labs also included some hypothetical April 4th runoffs. Such an election is very likely. Now, if it's Vallas versus Lightfoot, he would currently lead 49.5% to 30%. Vallas would also lead Garcia, but at 43% to 38%, it's within the survey's margin of error. Against Johnson, Vallas would lead by a more emphatic 44 to 31. Needless to say, Dane, if viewers haven't gotten out to vote yet, we urge them to do so.
Let me ask you a question. So Mayor Lightfoot, one of her strengths of the last campaign 4 years ago was the progressive vote, a lot of it coming from the North Side. Do you think she still has those votes, or is that
a lot of them have defected either to Garcia or to Johnson. The Teachers Union, SEIU, some of the other progressive groups have, they accuse the mayor of broken promises, and they say that's why Johnson's running. So her base is different. But also 4 years ago, there was a series of things that happened, including the raid on Alderman Eddie Burke's office at City Hall, and then the charges against him, and that wounded both Susanna Mendoza, who was probably in a position to win overall, and Tony Preckwinkle, who had both received money from him. So the mayor doesn't have that headwind.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Should be interesting. And based on early voting numbers, people are really interested in this year's races, I should say. Early voting at polling locations and vote-by-mail ballots now topping more than 211,000. And that number is almost double the amount in previous years. Officials say they're seeing particularly high turnout on the northwest and southwest sides.
Do you think that we're going to see a good amount of people turn out for Election Day tomorrow? Previously, in the last few elections, we've seen about 25% of people vote by mail, 25% of people early vote, and 50% of people still wait for Election Day to vote. So if we've got about 250,000 votes by the end of today, Monday, that are going to be included in the election night results, if we times that by 2, it looks like we might have half a million people show up for tomorrow.
Election officials are hoping to see more than 40% of registered voters turn out to vote in this year's primary. And Fox 32 is your election night headquarters. We'll have live coverage of the mayor's race and all the races for aldermen tomorrow night. Tune into a special edition of Fox 32 News at 9 and continuous coverage online at fox32chicago.com.